Hello everyone, my name is Luciano Perez and I'd like to welcome you to Learning with Devlane. Today we're going to talk about API testing with Postman. In this video, I will walk you through a practical introduction to using Postman. We will go from sending your first request to writing simple tests and validating responses like a QA engineer. Postman is a tool that allows you to send HTTP requests to an API and analyze the responses. It's widely used in QA because it's simple, intuitive, and doesn't require deep technical knowledge to get started. The goal is not to learn everything at once, but to focus on the basics and build from there. To get started, you can download the app from the official website, or you can just use the web view that they provide. Once you are inside, I recommend you to focus on 4 key areas. The first one is the HTTP builder. The second one is the drop-down method list. The third one is the send button. And the fourth is the tabs that you can see here. Parameters, authorization, headers, OD, and scripts. That's all you need for now. Let's send our first request. First of all, what you need to do is to click this plus icon, which will create a new request for you. In this case, we want to choose the getType method and we want to place this URL. Once we set this up, we click send. And here we're gonna have a few things we need to focus. First of all, the status of the execution, in this case, is 200, which means request successfully. The second thing is the response time, right? We're going to see in milliseconds what was the time it gets to this endpoint to show you a response. And the third is the body you can see in the JSON response, which it is here. Since we have our request created, what we want to do right now is to start doing some API automated checks. For that, what we need to do is to go to our scripts tab, and inside of it, we can find 2 things, the pre-request tab and the post-response tab. For this scenario, what we are going to do is to check the post response. Remember, pre-requests mean that your API automated checks are going to happen before you execute your endpoint. Meanwhile, post response is going to show you and execute these automated checks after you execute your endpoint. In this case, what we are going to do is, first of all, we are going to check that the status code is 200. The second thing we are going to check is that the response is not empty. And the third thing we are going to check is that the response time is under 500 milliseconds. The idea is that we need to make sure that this endpoint is working efficient and correct. So let's give it a try. All right, so we click send, we can see some information here. And the main thing we can see is that the error code is 200, which means that the request was successful. And also we can see a green dot here showing to us that there was no failure. Let's check one by one. Status code is 200, response is not empty, we can see it here, and the response time is under 500 milliseconds. In this scenario, the response time was 253 milliseconds. It's important to remember that good API testing includes negative scenarios. In this case, what I'm going to try is to break our endpoint URL by adding more letters that's supposed to have. And what we are going to see once we execute it is a 404 error message. And since this is a fake API, we have an empty JSON response. But you should be able to see a correct validation message. Another thing we can try is add a invalid parameter, and this will be the same. We are going to see the error code, and also we should see a properly validation error message in the response. One of the key features in Postman is the ability to create collections and folders. Collections allow us to group related endpoints together, such as all APIs for authentication or user management. Within those collections, folders help us organize requests even further, making it easier to navigate maintain, and understand our API structure. This organization brings us clarity for us and to the entire team. The way to create them is by just hitting this plus icon here. Then you go to collection and assign the name. For example, web coverage. And inside of web coverage, our collection, you can just hit the three dots and add so many folders you want. Another important feature is the use of environments. Postman environments such as staging, development, or production are helpful for us in order to keep things organized and keep clarity about where we are testing our endpoints. The way to create them is by just hitting here, the plus icon, create environment, assign a name, and then you can just put all the variables you want for your configuration. Once you have everything done, you can just change your environment where you are going to test by just clicking the environment you want. And that's it. Once your collections are done and your folders are created, you must focus on test coverage. That means that you have three things to be focused on. The first one is cover all endpoints. The second one is include positive and negative cases. And the third one is test edge cases. You can also integrate Postman CI/CD pipelines with Newman. The idea is that you can cover everything on every deployment. Thanks all for watching. Remember, start small, send requests, analyze responses, break things on purpose. That's how you understand how APIs behaves. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.